Welcome back to the Breakfast Show 2. April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and joining me this morning is Sergeant Clark Parrott from the Missouri State Highway Patrol. Thanks so much. We always love having you here. So first, why is it so important to raise awareness on distracted driving?
Well, when you consider that distracted driving is one of the top 3 factors that is causing our fatal traffic crashes, and when you look at the fact that 17 teenagers die every day because of traffic crashes, and we know that distracted driving is part of that, that is why we're trying to raise the awareness. And cell phones get a lot of the attention from texting and driving or things like that. But anything that takes away our mind away from the task of operating our vehicle in a safe manner, whether it's eating, grooming, putting on makeup, changing the radio station, a dog in the car, other people in the car, changing the radio station is a huge distraction. So that is something that we as law enforcement are trying to do to make sure that people are getting from point A to point B as safe as possible without those distractions.
Right. And so then is the Highway Patrol, are you guys doing anything to highlight this month, anything specific? Yeah,
we have been out, we started back in March, toward the end of March, doing hazardous moving operations. And what that is we go out on the interstates that we have identified as having higher traffic crashes than normal. Interstate 55, 60, and 67. 25 highway is one of those. But we go out and we look for aggressive driving, whether it's speeding, making bad passes, failure to maintain a single lane, that sort of thing. All of those are indicative of people that are distracted. So obviously we want to start with education, but then we also have warnings and tickets that we can write as well.
And I know that everyone is attached to these things these days, and it can be so hard to, if you get a message while you're driving, to not want to look at it.
Yes.
But it's so vital because that one message could be a message that changes your whole life. Because if you're looking down at your phone and then you rear end the person in front of you, who knows how bad it could be. And that's, we don't need to look at that message. It can wait.
Yeah, or you cross the center line. And on average, when people look down to read a message on their phone, they take their eyes off for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Well, 5 seconds at speed on the interstate, you're going to cover almost a football field.
Wow.
So I don't know of too many people that are going to close their eyes or go blindfold for 5 seconds while they're driving down the road. But yet we don't think anything about it with our phone. And another thing and I've tried to stress this to parents, is if you know your children are out and about and they are driving, don't text them.
Right.
Because it is illegal in Missouri for those 21 years of age and younger to operate a vehicle while texting. So now you're contributing to your children's issues.
Yeah.
They are some of the worst drivers that we see because they're inexperienced, but yet they're world-class texters. So that is where their attention is going to be. And there is a psychological withdrawal if we are not constantly hooked up to our phone technology and things like that. And the problem is now we're driving. And that is something that is, it's heartbreaking whenever we see those crashes and we know it was from distracted.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And I know that, speaking of that law, you said 21 and younger for texting and driving is illegal. That's the only law that we have in Missouri on distracted driving, correct?
Currently, but there are a whole pile of laws already in place that we can use, and that we do use in order to drive on the right half of the roadway. So if you're driving down the road and you run off the right side of the roadway, hit the rumble strips, or cross the center line, you have failed to maintain a single lane.
Right.
So those are things that we are doing on these hazardous moving, aggressive driving campaigns. Those are the things that we're looking for.
Yeah, I know that some years back I took part in a traffic class, and they brought people in that were injured severely by distracted driving, and they told their story, and they are just like, you don't want to end up like me, because their life changed. Or they brought in a mother whose daughter passed away from distracted driving, and it can change your whole life. All you have to do is just focus on the road. That's the main job of driving.
Yeah, and this week and last week, I think I've participated in 2 or 3 mock traffic crashes. I've been in schools. It's prom graduation season.
Yeah.
So we are really pushing that along with Southeast Coalition for Roadway Safety, giving these schools grants that will let us come in and talk about distracted driving, impaired driving, and speeding, things that are causing the fatal traffic crashes, so that we can try to make sure that all those kids make it to prom, all those kids make it to graduation, because one text can change your life forever. And we want to make sure that is not happening, or at least if I can get one person today to put their phone down, then we've done our job.
Right, right. And I'd like to really think that those mock traffic crashes really help and they stick with those kids. You know, those are, I've seen some pictures of those and they look pretty real, and you know, it could have an impact on you.
Yeah, and we're hoping that that one day, okay, so we've not used our phone today and we've put our seatbelt on today. We continue that behavior and habit tomorrow and build upon that, and so that we can get our fatalities heading in the right direction, which is down to 0.
Right, exactly. Well, we appreciate you coming and
my
talking
pleasure.
a little bit about Distracted Driving Awareness Month. It's super easy. Just keep the phone down, keep any distractions away from you while you're driving and getting to your destination. We'll be back in just a few minutes.